Welcome, gamers! Today I'm bringing you 60 card worms. I wanted to share this deck because it's really fun to play. I think it's really fun to play, and maybe it's not as fun to play if you're playing IRL or in person because you have to shuffle 60 cards. But I think whether you're playing in person or online, it's a very fun deck. So let's get right into it. We're playing 3 Morale Tack. It's the only artifact you need. It's kind of taking inspiration from Corey McDuffie's hat list. We have the 3 Morale Tack, 3 MST, and just 3 Sanctum. All you need artifact-wise, and then we have BLS. When you're playing 60 cards, it's nice to have a boss monster. Not our only boss monster, but definitely the better boss. We have 2 DD Crow, good interruption, and it's a dark for BLS. We're playing 6 hands. Really great to play 6 hands when you're playing 60 cards because you really only want to draw 1 hand and keep the rest of them in deck so that you can bring them out from each other. And then we have 2 Curry Bandit because we want to dig into the deck for cards like Sanctum, Soul Charge. I've added Duality off of this. I've even added the Worm Trap off of this to combo with a worm I still have in hand. Then we have 3 Max C, just good generic card, even if it's just an upstart goblin against some decks. And then we have the 2 Dionea, which is a power card, and Curry Bandit can even, make this more live. We have 3 Murmelio, so of course we're playing Trap Hole Traps. 1 Carteros, don't really need more than 1. Its defense is so low that it doesn't survive many attacks, so it's not great with the Worm Trap, but it is still definitely good. And then we have the Worm King, which will come off of the Nebula and is our other boss monster. We have 3 Zex and 3 Jagen. The interaction between these two being that you summon Zex, you send Jagen, and then Jagen summons itself, but then it's banished. But if you overlay it as material, it will not be banished, even if it brought itself out from its own effect. And then, of course, these are the main cards that you'll be using with Nebula. We have Dark Hole, self-explanatory. Lance, nice one of. Instant Fusion. Kind of strange to only play 1, a deck that's not totally centered around it, but I have found it can be very nice turn 1. You summon Merm, then you Instant Fusion, Lavalval Chain, top deck Dionea, something like that, or if you need to Exciton or Dweller. And we have Mind Control, it's broken, 3 MST as mentioned, Dichotomy, probably the worst card in the deck. Besides like drawing Worm King, you really don't want to draw Worm King. That is the actual worst draw in the deck because it turns off, well, you won't be able to summon it from Nebula because Nebula only summons from deck. But Dichotomy, it's cool. We have a bunch of types going on here. You do lose your battle phase, but you can also still soul charge that turn. So this gets sided out a lot, but it's nice to have a card that is kind of easily spottable to side out when you're playing 60 cards. And then 2 Duality, 2 Soul Charge. This card is really nice in this deck. And then the Sanctums is mentioned, Bottomless of course for the Merm. 3 Breakthrough Skill is nice to send off of Curry Bandit, or just having it in general is strong against artifacts, of course. Then we have 1 Call of the Haunted. It's nice to bring back level 4, or, if you have a Morale Tack, you can bring it back and you get its effect. Bring it back BLS that got torrential tributed or just destroyed by like Dark Hole or something. Very good. 1 Compulse. It's Compulse, and Malevolent Catastrophe is a strong card. It's not so much to trigger Morale Tack, just to clear back row, so you don't have to deal with a bunch of back row. Warning, Torrential, Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare. Probably the second best trap hole you can play in anything, even in a 40 card deck. You're going to have this as your second trap hole, most likely. And then we have the Worm Nebula Meteorite, which is just very fun to resolve. And even if you're not summoning the Worm King, you're still getting draws, you're still setting Yagins to then get their flip effects again. And I do believe if you summon Yagin off of its own effect, and then flip it up somehow and gets set by this, you could even flip it up with this and then set it from this, all in one card. You shouldn't banish the Yagin after that set, because setting it would be like setting it with Book of Moon. This deck does not have Book of Moon, because you have this, I think. And then we have 2 Wiretap, just trying to get everything to go through their traps. And then we'll talk about the extra deck. We got the Instant Fusion Target, Dweller, it's great. Omega does require 2 lights, but it's definitely cool to bring out, especially you Soul Charge and bring back 2 Worms and 2 Morale Tax potentially, and then you can make Omega and Pleiades, and the Omega will protect the Pleiades. We have Emerald, Shuffle Back Hands, and artifacts. You could even put back Worm King and summon it again, potentially. Felgrand, which you can actually make with the 2 bosses, Worm King and BLS, but it's also there as a target for XYZ Universe. Exciton, Guy Dragon, Lavavel Chain, 101, Black Ship, Volcasaurus, Heartland Draco, Paladynamo, another XYZ that requires 2 lights, but it does have a very strong effect. And Tiras. And then in this side deck we have 2 Cycle Reader, decks like Light Sworn, Bujin, the 3rd Crow, probably for Mermail, Spellbooks potentially, 2 Veiler, mostly for Spellbooks, but Spellbook is a difficult matchup for this deck. You're playing a lot of hands, which aren't great against Spellbooks. So we have 2 Veiler, and Gustav Max, which is only for XYZ Universe. If you're not familiar with XYZ Universe, Gustav Max allows you to send 6 into 5, or 2 5s, even a 4 into 7 for Universe. 1 Blackhorn of Heaven, Debunk, 1 Debunk, 2 Deep Dark Trap Hole, the only other trap hole we have to search for Merm, but definitely a good one. And 2 Mirror Force, really just in case you don't have monsters to defend yourself with. Say we used Curry Bandit or something, this will protect us. And the 3rd Wiretap and the 2 Universe. And that's the deck. I used this deck in Moraltech Monthly 35, where I got 9th place. So I just missed Top Cut, but I put the replays from that tournament in the description below if you want to check out some gameplay. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Later, gamers.